What is up, guys? We are back. Yes, sir. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast. This week, we're going to be talking about UFC Vegas 65. Derrick Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. Quick channel update, man. My PC crashed last week. Totally, bombed, dead. And I couldn't record anything last week. UFC 281, probably the card of the year. And we couldn't even put out anything. And it sucked because I already had like most of the breakdown done and I was going to finish it, then put it out. And yeah, I went to log in and it was just dead. And quick shout out, man, to my guy Martin, producer Martin. He came through, fixed our PC on Sunday, and so we're back, dude. I'm super pumped. The energy is high, man. I'm pumped to talk about UFC Vegas 65 because I didn't even know I was going to have a PC to do it. So quick recap of how we did at UFC 281. Like I said, probably the card of the year, one of the cards of the year. We walked away down 1 unit, 1.02 units, so slightly above 1 unit. And we could have, walked away even if Izzy would have been able to get that knockout. We had a sprinkle core unit on him to win via knockout plus 325. That obviously lost. Crazy night of fights, man. I did make a couple bad bets, I'll be honest, man, betting on Dominic Reyes in a parlay where, he's coming off such a long layoff and that chin is just, turned to dust now at this point. That was a bad bet. We bet on Otman Azaitar, and I felt a little better though that because I had a plus 125 on that, and he closed as a favorite. I think around like minus 135, minus 140, and dude, he got slept by Vervola. I didn't think that was gonna happen. That was one of the things I was like pretty confident would not happen, and sure enough, Otman looked slow, looked loopy, and just like didn't have his timing. Look, was it rusty? That was a bad bet for sure. Wish I could not bet that fight. And then Silvana Gomez Juarez, it was anyone's fight going into the third round. We had a 1 unit shot on that, 1.05 units on her. And yeah, anyone's fight going into that third round, and that trip or knockdown fall thing that Carolina got in that third round, secured her the fight, and she was able to eat all of Gomez's shots. I'll be honest. I was pretty surprised at that, and hats off to her, man. Good win. Respect. And I saw that the UFC cut Gomez today, so I mean that's on me betting on a fighter that's going to get cut after their fight. It was though, guys, so crazy to see them like scribble out the scorecards like right behind Bruce Buffer. I remember watching, I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Not a robbery or anything. The right person won, but that was pretty hilarious. And then yeah, our winning bets, guys. We had the biggest bet of the night. Dustin Poirier was able to finish Michael Chandler, and I was pissed at myself, man. I was looking at that over 1.5 rounds minus 130 all week. I just couldn't pull the trigger, man. It's been something I've been doing lately. I just need to. If I like a bet, I'm starting firing, man. I need to stop being so like, I guess you could say, not aggressive. But yeah, that was a great fight of the night. A phenomenal fight. I had people over there going nuts for that fight. Then we had Dan Hooker, man. That was a straight ass beating. He beat the heck out of Claudio Puelles. That was the easy bet as well. And then, yeah, we also had the under in the main event, 4.5 rounds. We had that a half unit bet plus 115 that hit as well. Barely. But dude, Alex Pereira, the stoppage was a little quick live, but watching it back, man, Izzy was going to get lit up after. But I get it, man. He's a champion. He's defended 5 times. Give a guy a little time. But he seems to be all right with it. So crazy event. Hope to do the rematch. But yeah, guys, with that, let's get right into UFC Vegas 65. In the main event, we have Derrick Lewis taking on Sergey Spivak. The line currently sits Spivak, the favorite, at minus 190, and Derrick Lewis, the underdog, at plus 150. Now, there is a huge age gap here, man. Derrick Lewis will be 37 years old. Spivak, 27 years old, 10-year age gap in there. Reach about the same, height about the same. And yeah, man, Derrick Lewis going in there with a 26-10 record, way more experience than Spivak at just 15-3. And I'll be honest, man, Derrick Lewis is on the decline. Everyone knows this at this point. He's 37 years old. Got finished twice in a row. Pavlovich put him out, and then Tuivasa put him out. And it's funny though, man. His last 3 fights in the Apex, he's won all via knockout. And every time you put him out of the Apex, he seems to not be able to handle the distance in that space. And I will say he's fighting good guys. I mean, the guys that are beating him were all good guys. Even Cyril Gahn put him out. The champ. I will say I do think that Spivak's gonna win. And it comes down to me, if Spivak gets him down one time, I can see the fight ending right after. Whether it be, via ground and pound, Spivak has legit ground and pound, really good top game. Or whether it be like Derrick giving up his back on the way to get up, giving up a submission opportunity for Spivak. 27-year-old from Ukraine, is finding his stride in the UFC. He's been finished before. He's not impervious to getting knocked out. We saw him get slept by Tom Aspinall, and he's never really been like flash knocked out though. He's more of like a stunned and finished type guy. Obviously, that probably won't matter against Derrick Lewis, especially in the Apex. The guy can crack you with one punch. He's just so low volume, man, and so one-dimensional. Where if you're gonna bet on him, just bet on him via knockout. If you're gonna bet on Spivak, 2-1 against Derrick Lewis in the Apex, that's tough. But I mean, I think he's gonna win. I think he's a better fighter. The more it gets extended, I definitely think he's gonna be favoring Spivak. But yeah, as far as how he's gonna get to the ground, that's what's interesting to me because I mean, we saw what happened to the best wrestler in the division, in Curtis Blades. Shot out in the open after standing with Derrick Lewis for one round. And in my opinion, winning that round and looking good on the feet. I figured he was going to use the best part of his game, go for a takedown, gets uppercut, his head through the ceiling. I don't think that Spivak's going to do the same. I think if Spivak gets him down, it's going to be from initiating the clinch along the cage, and then getting a body lock or a trip, something like that, and then from there, doing his work and doing some damage. From some really good gym, Eric Nixick, a really good head coach. They're going to be smart in there. They're not going to, put themselves in vulnerable positions. I really do think that Spivak is a safe play here, but 2-1 in the Apex against Derrick Lewis, it's tough. Yeah, my pick's going to be Spivak. At this point, I'm not going to be betting on Derrick Lewis. He's 37, approaching 38. He's had however many injuries. The title run's probably not in the picture, and I wonder what he's doing it for. It's not like he needs the bonuses anymore. He's got a good amount of money now at this point. Going with Spivak, I think this is time. Big showcase win, first main event. And yeah, go Spivak. Next, we have a fight that has absolutely no business being on the main card. I'm talking about Chase, the Vanilla Gorilla Sherman, versus Waldo, the Salsa Boy Cortes-Acosta. The Vanilla Gorilla comes in with a 16-10 record at plus 170. And Waldo Cortes-Acosta comes in undefeated 8-0 as a minus 200 favorite. These guys have the same height, same reach. Cortes is 2 years younger. Just a bizarre fight. Yeah, super low-level heavyweight fight, guys. Waldo actually fought 3 weeks ago against Jared Vanderaa, where it's not like he just walked in and knocked the guy out in like 20 seconds and left and got his bonus and said peace out. Like, he took damage. His leg was getting chewed up. Like, his lead leg was getting kicked over and over again. He took legitimate damage in that fight, a heavyweight fight in the UFC, man. Whereas Chase Sherman, he had a fight get canceled against Parisian, and now this is his replacement, a guy that just fought 3 weeks ago. Very surprising. I mean, he did beat Vanderaa, but very surprising to see him get this quick turnaround. Very surprised that I'm talking about this fight this long. Super low-level fight. Probably should be in Bellator. Going with Sherman, going with the underdog, no way. I'm a bet on a guy that just fought 3 weeks ago. Ex-pro baseball player, I believe, turned pro boxer, turned MMA fighter. Unless the UFC just absolutely believes that Chase Sherman just sucks and they want Waldo to, get this win and promote him or something. I'm very confused at this fight. Give me Chase Sherman via decision. Next, we have a welterweight fight between Muslim Salikhov and Andre Fialho. The King of Kung Fu comes in with an 18-3 record, while Andre Fialho, the challenger, comes in with a 16-5 record. The line currently sits Muslim Salikhov actually minus 115, and Andre Fialho now from plus 110 to minus 105. So money's been coming on to Andre, and I get it, man. He's going to be 10 years younger than the King of Kung Fu Salikhov here. But really quickly, guys, before we talk about this fight, I wanted to show you guys something that I thought was pretty funny. Look at Muslim right here. You see him right here on the left part of your screen. I'll click on him. Bro, look at his picture, dog. It looks like he just had some training after getting ready for the Cold War peace treaty negotiations. What is that? That's hilarious. That did him dirty. I thought it was hilarious today when I went on here and I saw that they changed his picture. That's so funny. But yeah, man. The pick, it's tough because there is a 10-year age gap here, and while I do think that Salikhov's going to be able to hit Andre and make it count when he does, Andre has knockout power, bro. Like, we saw him come on into the UFC and immediately get finished by Pereira. But I'll be honest, man, even when he finished Van Camp, he got tagged a lot in that fight. And for a second there, I was like, oh my God, like, this is insane. We did have money on him in that fight, and we actually had money against him. We had money on Jake Matthews in his last fight, and he just has very bad striking defense, and he's fighting a guy who has very crisp, very sharp, very technical striking. Man, he's 38 years old. It sucks. He's a welterweight fighting at 170 at 38 years old. It's tough to get behind him, and I understand why money's coming on Fialho. He's gonna have flash knockout power throughout the whole fight. Well, I honestly don't even know if I should say that. He's definitely gonna have it earlier in the fight as it gets extended. And I don't know if it's gonna be there, but I'm going with the under 2.5 rounds. I don't have access to it yet. I'm waiting to see what it drops in my book, or even if I doesn't go the distance if I don't get a good price, because whether it be someone getting finished early or Fialho finishing Salikhov early, I mean, he's a pretty durable guy. He's 18-3, hard to finish. He did get finished in his last fight against the Leech, and that was due to him sort of like grappling and getting tired and fading. And dude, but Leech has incredible power. So does Andre, but I just feel confident in the fact that whether it be Andre catching him early or Andre getting tagged and then fading, or whether it be Muslim looking good and then fading, someone I think is going to hit the mat and going to get finished. And I love fight does look the distance. And give me Andre Fialho via second round knockout. Up next, we have a welterweight fight between blue chip prospect Jack Della Maddalena and Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts. Jack comes in 12-2 and finds himself as a huge favorite at -450. Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts comes in at 18-6, sitting as a +340 underdog. There is a 9-year age gap, as Danny Roberts is the older guy, man. He's 35 years old, fighting at welterweight. He'll be 9 years older than Jack, and he'll be slightly taller and slightly longer than Jack here. But I don't think that's going to matter here, man. This is a setup fight. I'm surprised that they didn't give Jack someone better, because he's looked like $1 million, dude. Looked good on Contender Series, tough fight, got a win there against a tough opponent in Lusa, and then has finished both his UFC opponents. Good opponent in Amiv. I think Amiv's a pretty good fighter. Danny Roberts actually beat Amiv too, but Jack was able to finish him, able to survive there on the mat, and ended up knocking him out. Guy just can crack, dude. He goes to the body, goes to the head. Really likes to go to the body. I love his body work. And I just think that this is going to be inside the distance Jack Della Maddalena win. I think there's a reason why that line's so wide. The big red flag, guys, is in Danny Roberts' last fight. He lost to Francisco Trinaldo, who's like 40,000 years old. And you just can't be losing to Trinaldo. But the way he lost is the real bad part. He was getting hurt. He was like visibly like reacting very badly, getting stunned to Trinaldo. He got hurt to the body. And that's just a bad look. So to give them a killer like Jack, after that fight, they're setting him up to lose. So the UFC wants to get Jack one more win here, give him a highlight win, let him call out somebody, and start fighting higher level, maybe some ranked guys. But all day, Jack Della Maddalena knockout. Give me round 2. Up next is our first bet of the night. We have Zhalgas Zhumagulov versus Charles Johnson. Zhalgas comes in with a 14-7 record, currently sitting as a +140 underdog. Charles comes in with an 11-3 record, currently sitting as a -165 favorite. Now, we have 1.60 units on Charles Johnson -160. I think that he's a better overall fighter, and he has a couple of advantages, going for him here. He's going to be the bigger, longer fighter here, and he has really good takedown defense and get-up game. Zhalgas, in my opinion, is going to have to rely on winning minutes on the mat and keeping this fight close when it does, take place on the feet. I think that Charles Johnson is a quicker striker, better striker, more diverse striker. Love his kicks to the body. I just love his activity. The guy has 5-round stamina. Former LFA champ. Whereas Zhalgas, 1-4 in his last 5 fights, but a ton of his fights are really, really close. He's fighting high-level guys. We'll give him that. And like even the last fight against Jeff Molina, like he could have won that fight. You could have said he had won that fight. So if he would have won that fight, would the line be the same? And I think it would. Even if they were to give him that fight against, Manel Kape, he was looking all right, pretty good until he got knocked out. Manel Kape's a really high level fighter and a high level striker. So, no shame in that either. I will say though, watching tape on Zhalgas, he does love his nut shots. He loves to kick those kicks up the middle, and sometimes we get caught in the nut shot area. But yeah, man. I did want to mention he's 34 years old, and he's going to be 5 inches shorter with the 4-inch reach disadvantage. So yeah, man, like I said, the tail of the tape definitely favors Charles, but the fight itself, man, I think that Zhumagulov is going to be coming forward. It's going to be a close fight, a 3-round fight. I love fight that goes the distance, but I love Charles Johnson to be more active on the feet and to be able to defend takedowns, keep this fight standing. If he does get taken down, to get back up, and definitely not to get submitted. If he does, man, I'll wear it, but we have 1.6 units. -160 straight on Charles Johnson. And up next, we have a fight between Jennifer Maia and Maryna Moroz. Jennifer Maia comes in with a 19-9-1 record, currently sitting as a +150 underdog. Moroz, the Iron Lady, comes in with an 11-3 record, currently sitting as a minus 175 favorite. Moroz is going to be 3 years younger, going to have a 3-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. This is an interesting fight because if this fight does get to the mat, I think that Maia will have the upper hand. We saw Moroz use her grappling and essentially out-grapple Agapova in her last fight. Agapova, the much bigger fighter, much greener fighter, more inexperienced as well than Moroz. And, she did her work, man. She, made light work of her, and it was a good win for sure. But she's kind of inactive, and you've seen what she's doing outside the octagon. She's on the Playboy cover and has her OnlyFans and doing this and that. But she's a good fighter, man. Ukrainian national boxer and can grapple for sure. We just saw it, like I said, in her last fight. But on the other hand, we have essentially a gatekeeper in Jennifer Maia. I think that Jennifer Maia is super durable. We obviously saw her take a round off Valentina. That's kind of like her highlight of her career. But got dominated everywhere else in that fight. Actually looked well, in my opinion, against the girl, Frio, Maddalena Frio. We had money on Frio, and I was a little impressed, thinking about, oh damn, that was way closer than I thought. I thought Frio was gonna run right through her, and she handled her own, man. The thing with her is that she has really good jiu-jitsu, but she just never uses it. It's hard for her to initiate the clinches and grappling exchanges, so she ends up just being really slow and average on the feet, and she never really utilizes what she's good at. So it's tough to bet on her because whenever you think that she has a clear grappling advantage over a fighter, it's tough to bet on her to use it. We saw her against Chukadian, is pretty much a standing fight the whole time. So yeah, man, give me Moroz. I think that the younger fighter, bigger fighter, although she's fighting the more experienced lady here, I think that she's gonna win, and she's gonna win via decision. So give me Moroz. Not too confident on it. Probably not gonna bet this fight, but yeah, give me Moroz via decision. Up next, we have a fight between Ricky Turcios and Kevin Natividad. Ricky comes in as a favorite at 11-3, currently sitting at minus 150. On the other side, we have Kevin Natividad with a 9-3 record, currently sitting at plus 125. Now, Ricky will be slightly taller as he's 3 inches taller and has a 2-inch reach advantage. It's a very even fight. In Ricky's last fight, man, he looked like crap. He was missing his punches and missing his strikes by incredible amounts of distance. He reminded you of Macy Barber, dude. If his arms were 6 inches longer, he would have won easy. But they're not, and he was missing bad. He was yelling Caitlin Chikagian style. It was just a terrible loss to have. Before that, though, I was actually impressed with Ricky. I loved his volume. I love his gas tank. I love his heart, dude. The guy goes to fight, man. The guy just throws a ton of strikes. No, I guess you could say reckless abandon. Kind of reminds me of a little young Tony Ferguson. Very suspect takedown defense, though. And you could argue that he lost that Brady Hiestand fight in the ultimate finale. On the other side, Kevin Natividad's Fade City. I've been waiting to fade him for a long time. Well, I will say, man, he's 0-2 in the UFC, been slept twice viciously, but both the guys that beat him would probably beat Ricky as well. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, so I'll be interested to see if he's thinking, okay, well, I need to get this win or else I'm probably going to get cut by the UFC, and so I need to get this by any means. Does he pursue the takedowns here? Because we've seen that Ricky Turcios has somewhat subpar takedown defense. But I think that he's going to be able to keep this fight on the feet and eventually land on Kevin Natividad. The volume of Ricky is just too much for me to pick against him. And although I will say, like I said, he looked bad in his last fight, I'm picking Ricky Turcios to eventually catch Kevin. And I don't know if he's going to finish him, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it go under 2.5 rounds, because even if, let's say, Kevin catches Ricky, Kevin has 9-3, he has 5 knockout wins. So it's not like he doesn't have knockout power either. And with the amount of volume Ricky throws, exchanges are going to, create themselves, and opportunities might present themselves for sure. But I'm going with Ricky. I do think that he's going to be able to win this fight via decision. In the co-main event, we have a light heavyweight banger between Cutelaba and Nzechukwu. The line currently sits Ion, the underdog, coming in 16-8-1 at plus 145. Nzechukwu, the African Savage, comes in with a 10-3 record, and he currently sits as the favorite at minus 170. And the first thing I want to talk about with this fight is the tail of the tape. If you look right here, it's a pretty significant 8-inch reach advantage that Kennedy is going to have over Ion, and a 4-inch height advantage. That's insane to me. It's going to be interesting to see how Ion deals with that. Because the way he fights, he's the one that goes forward. He's the one that starts the fight. He's the one that initiates the exchange. And, he's deadly. Either he's, going out there and finishing guys, or he's getting finished himself. I was surprised to see him get submitted by Johnny Walker. He's been submitted 2 times in a row now, 2 fights in a row. He's 2-5 in his last 7 fights, and his UFC run is not that good. It's I will say he's fighting, way higher level guys than Kennedy is, but it's just not good to see him lose so much, man. On the other hand, yeah, Kennedy, 30 years old. He's actually older than Ion. I was surprised to see that. And less active than Ion is, but I don't want to say he's impressive. He's just so big, man. Like it's like I expect him to get better every time and really unlock those tools as having that huge frame as he goes on in this division. We saw him, really use his grappling in his last fight, which was to me, somewhat surprising and good to see, definitely, because you never want to see a guy just be a one-dimensional striker, and he showed that he can use his grappling to win minutes in fights. And while I don't rank Carl Roberson, the highest or the best fighter, it is a good, stepping stone. But like I said, man, this is a step down in competition for Ion Cutelaba. And it really comes down to that first tidal wave. If Kennedy to see how I want to see how he does and he deals with it, because he might get finished in that first round by Ion. Ion can come in, and really push the pressure on him and back up Kennedy into the warning track and put him out. But can he use his grappling to get him down? If he does get him down, can Kennedy get it up? Man, he's gonna be the way bigger guy by a lot. But he's never really fought or wrestled like this. I really do think that Ion's gonna have success getting this fight down. So I'm picking Ion Cutelaba, man. I'm gonna pick him because I don't think that he's gonna finish Kennedy in the first round. I think Kennedy's a pretty durable guy. He did get finished by Jung real bad, but I just think that he's gonna be able to withstand that first wave. And what I think that is gonna happen, I think that Ion's gonna be able to find success easily against Cutelaba, or not, sorry, against Cutelaba, against Nzechukwu, because he's never really had to defend takedowns against anyone the level of Ion, man. Ion, the only thing that worries me is the gas tank. That's why I'm not betting on him. So yeah, but I'm picking Ion Cutelaba, bro. Via decision. Up next, we have a fight between Fernie Garcia and Brady Hiestand. Fernie comes in as an underdog at plus 140, while Brady comes in as a favorite at minus 150. I think the screen has it reversed here, but yeah. Fernie comes in with a 10-2 record. Brady making his UFC debut with a 5-2 record. Coming off his ultimate finale loss to Ricky Turcios, who we just talked about. He's going to be 7 years younger than Fernie here. He's going to be 1 inch taller with the 4-inch reach advantage. Now, this is essentially a grappler versus striker here. Fernie has pop. He can crack. But we saw him finish his opponent on Contender Series, but that was a strange finish, and his opponent kind of just went down. It was a very strange finish where, other than that, I don't really rate this guy as very dangerous. Brady, he does walk into punches. He doesn't seem to have very good striking defense, but the guy is relentless, dude. The kid's young, 23 years old, and he fights with a lot of heart. He wants to get the fight to the ground. He's a way better grappler than Garcia here. And in my opinion, if he has any level of fight IQ, he's going to be getting, pursuing this fight on the ground, trying to get this fight to the mat and use his wrestling and jiu-jitsu. He did struggle to keep Turcios down when he did get the fight down, but he showed he was going to go 15 minutes hard. So I'm going with Brady to win his UFC debut because I think that the UFC sees that they have something here with this 23-year-old. I honestly think that they wanted him to win the ultimate finale, but Ricky's a good guy too as well. He's a pretty crazy guy. But yeah, man, give me Brady Hiestand, the young kid. Pretty close fight to win via decision. Now it's time to go over our official bets for UFC Vegas 65. So far, we have 3 bets, 2 parlays, and 1 moneyline straight bet. I do think that we're probably going to find ourselves on 1 or 2 more bets throughout the week, so make sure you follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. Our first moneyline bet, a 1.75 unit bet on Charles Johnson at minus 160 to beat Zhalgas Zhumagulov. I think that he's a better overall fighter, man, and if Zhalgas can't get this fight down and keep it there, I think that he's going to get lit up on the feet. And even if he does, man, I wouldn't be surprised to see Zhalgas get tired and fade in that 3rd round, maybe get finished in that 3rd round. So give me Charles Johnson minus 160 at 1.75 units all day. Our next 2 parlays are our first ever cross promotional parlays, as we've parlayed Usman Nurmagomedov on both tickets. So Usman Nurmagomedov is minus 500 to win the lightweight belt in Bellator against Patricky Pitbull, and I really do think that he's going to do it. He's probably honestly the best Nurmagomedov in that whole crew, and he's just super well rounded. It's funny, a lot of those guys, they don't fight like Khabib. They're like kickboxers. They fight like they want to strike. Umar and Usman are more similar than anything. And yeah, dude, Usman's the real deal. He's one of the better fighters in that whole gym, whole team. And yeah, I feel really confident about him. That's why I anchored him in 2 parlays. So the first parlay will be Usman Nurmagomedov minus 500 parlayed with Ricky Turcios minus 150. I've been waiting to fade Kevin Natividad. I just don't think that he's that good. And I don't know if he's UFC level. and I'm gonna have to make him prove it. So give me minus 150 on Turcios to use his volume, to use his pressure to win a decision here, and get it back on the right foot after his terrible loss last fight. So that's that parlay, those two guys, plus 100 for 1.25 units. Our second parlay, again, Usman Nurmagomedov, minus 500, parlayed with Brady, Hiestand, minus 160. Those odds come out to minus 105, and we parlayed that for 1.6 units. I put it on Instagram. This essentially is a 1.6 unit bet on Brady Hiestand, another Ultimate Finale, alum, you could say. And yeah, man, he just has a huge grappling advantage over his opponent. He's younger, has a bigger, longer, his size advantage over his opponent. And I just think that the UFC gave him a favorable matchup. Fernie has little to no grappling, like I said, and I just think that he's going to be able to use his wrestling and avoid getting knocked out. And really, that's the only way I think that Fernie's going to win this fight. I don't think that he's going to be able to put out Brady. He's taking his time off after that loss to Turcios. He could have won that fight. He could have won the contract that night. But I think the UFC knows he's a good fighter, so they signed him anyway. But give me Brady, Hiestand, Usman Nurmagomedov parlayed at minus 105 for 1.6 units. That's it for the show, guys. I think we missed 3 fights, but my files got corrupt. I know I picked Miles John. Who else? I picked Lita, but not confident, and I also picked Oliveira to beat Demopoulos. All 3 of those files got, I don't know, for some reason got messed up, but yeah, man, super excited to be back. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate all the support, man, for real. Let me know what you think about my bets, man. Let me think about the breakdowns. If I'm super wrong about something, let me know. If you disagree, agree, let me know, man. It's super fun to interact with you guys. I feel like the community is super dope. The handicappers I talk to on a regular basis are super dope, and yeah, man, I appreciate all the support. Took a loss last week, but we're going to bounce back. Only 3 more cards left in the year, and we're going to finish on the winning streak, so let's do it. See you guys next week. Peace.